Hello and welcome to this edition of FYI Weekly, your official source for the latest news and information from the city of Greensboro. Greensboro Guilford Crime Stoppers is partnering with Anderson Software to provide a more seamless and efficient way for residents to help report crime tips. Anderson Software leads the industry with its latest secure and anonymous tip acquisition and management solution called P3 Intel. The P3 Tips mobile app is free and available for download on Apple and Android platforms. Tips were previously accepted as text messages using a short code and the dedicated keyword Bad Boys. The app is still completely anonymous. Tips submitted through the mobile app are not limited in length and allow for images, video, and documents to be uploaded with the tip. P3 Tips' sophisticated encryption process obscures any and all identifying information, providing assured anonymity for tipsters. For those who don't want to use the app, an easy and secure option to submit tips can be done on a PC or mobile browser by going to p3tips.com. Tips are still welcome via the hotline at 336-373-1000. Once a tip is submitted, a tip ID and password is provided. This can be entered on the website to provide follow-up information, engage in real-time chat sessions, learn the outcome of the tip, and access reward information. Guilford Greensboro Crime Stoppers is a nonprofit which allows citizens to report crime without the fear of retaliation or retribution. The Greensboro Transit Agency, or GTA, has announced a series of route modifications to take effect Monday, August 5th. As a result of the Mobility Greensboro 2040 short-term transit plan, 14 of the system's 17 daily routes will change in coverage, including the addition, relocation, or removal of some of the 1,100 stops in the city. One of the most notable changes splits the overcrowded Route 12 to make room for a new Route 13. Route 12 will continue to serve South Elm Eugene, while Route 13 will provide coverage along the growing Randleman Road corridor. GTA has also created additional transfer points between routes to reduce the number of trips requiring transfers at the downtown depot. These service modifications are the result of an extensive outreach process that included public meetings, rider surveys, and an informative web portal at getonboard2040.org. The Greensboro Transit Advisory Commission voted in favor of the changes following a public hearing at the May 2019 meeting. The new route maps, schedules, and a video outlining the changes can be accessed on GTA's website. The Neighborhood Development Department is conducting a survey about Greensboro housing to help residents overcome barriers to fair housing. If you or someone you know would prefer better housing options, you're encouraged to take the survey and share your comments. Public input will aid in the development and assessment of Fair Housing and Consolidated Plan, which will establish community goals for housing and guide financial resource allocation. The final document will be submitted to U.S. Housing and Urban Development as part of its requirement for funding consideration. Residents can take the survey online. For more information, call Caitlin Bowers, Grant Administrator, at 336-433-7266. In an effort to help each of us improve our quality of life, the city has partnered with Cone Health for a series of brief and informative videos designed to inspire you to make better choices when it comes to healthy living. Let's check in with our friends at Cone Health for today's news for your health.
Hi, I'm Kate Towery, a registered dietitian for Cone Health Nutrition and Diabetes Services. Do you pack your lunch each day? Maybe getting bored of the same old brown bag lunch? Maybe wondering, is this even healthy? Well, join me today for tips on packing a healthy, well-balanced meal that you and the kids are going to enjoy. Let's get started. When creating a well-balanced lunch, we want to include a few key components, and I like to use a very simple tool called My Plate or the Portion Plate. First, we start with our grains or starches. This provides the body's favorite energy, which is going to keep your brain sharp throughout work and school. Whole grains have the most fiber, which is very heart healthy. Those would include options like your whole wheat crackers, whole wheat bread, whole wheat pasta, and brown rice. Next, we always want to include a protein. This helps keep you full and satisfied throughout the day. Choose leaner or low-fat options like chicken, turkey, fish, and your vegetarian sources such as beans, nuts and seeds, eggs, and low-fat cheese. Lastly, we really want to try to fill up the rest of our plate with fruits and vegetables, aiming for color and variety because after all, we eat with our eyes first. And these foods have the most nutrition with the lowest amount of calories, so we can get big volume on our plate. They also contain very protective qualities like antioxidants that help keep us from getting sick, which is really important during back to school time. So I've prepared a couple of example meals that are going to be fun and creative for you and the kids and definitely have that healthy balance. So the first one is a new take on the traditional deli sandwich. These are tortilla roll-ups. They're very simple to make. I used whole wheat tortilla as our grain, lots of good fiber there. Spread it with some low-fat herb cream cheese and turkey slices for our protein. Also added a little bit of spinach. You could include some red peppers or pimentos for additional color. Fun little bite-sized sandwiches. We've then paired that with some carrots and grapes, so different textures here, get that color on the plate. And lastly, some unsalted pretzels, which I'm going to pair with a natural peanut butter for additional protein and heart-healthy fats. Next up is one of my favorite things to do is cooking ahead a little bit on the weekend. Really goes a long way for a busy week. My preference, fix the protein. Today I've created a salmon salad similar to what you would make for a tuna salad, chicken salad. You could even do an egg salad, and this would be a great protein dish to use throughout the week in a variety of ways, like on a sandwich or in a wrap or with crackers. Today I've chosen to top the salad on a bed of greens. So the salmon salad, very simple. I use canned salmon, a little bit of low-fat mayonnaise. You could also use plain Greek yogurt. I did put some sliced almonds in there for crunch as well as the relish, lemon juice to cut the fishy taste, and lots of ground pepper. I've chosen spinach, but any kind of lettuce would work, romaine, iceberg, spring leaf. And we're just going to top the salmon salad onto our bed of greens. I've also packed some tomatoes and red onions for color, so we'll put those on top, as well as balsamic vinaigrette for the dressing. Light Italian or some oil and vinegar would be another healthy choice. And some crackers for our grains and a little bit of crunch. I've also packed these shelf-stable fruit cups. Fruit cups are a great way to get your fruit serving in. However, I recommend choosing the ones in water or 100% juice. The syrups have a lot of added sugar, and fruits are naturally sweet, so we don't need to add any more sugar to them. Lastly, whenever I get a little bored with my lunch options, I try to think back to something I really was excited about as a kid. And for me, that was Lunchables. So today, I've created a healthier version of a Lunchable. Instead of pepperoni, we've got turkey kielbasa, a lot lower in fat. Still watch the sodium there. A couple ounces of some cheese. You could also do a spreadable cheese or a low-fat cheese if you're watching your heart health. And some whole grain crackers, whole wheat, or these are actually quinoa and millet. I've paired that with broccoli and cauliflower for our vegetables and a delicious dipping sauce of hummus. This is going to give a good punch of protein to keep you full, as well as fiber from those chickpeas. And our fruit, we've got some sliced green apples. If you are really into these dipping sauces like I was as a kid, the single serve ones are great, but if you want to go a little more financially and environmentally friendly, you can buy in bulk and just invest in some of these small containers. If you're thinking about taking your lunch more often, you may want to go ahead and invest in an insulated lunch bag as well as an ice pack. These are very simple. Just throw them in the freezer till frozen, put them in your lunchbox the next day, and they're going to help keep your food cold that needs refrigeration for up to 4 to 5, maybe even 6 hours. And that's going to help prevent the growth of bacteria and keep your food safe. Another option would be to take a juice box or yogurt or even grapes. Place these in the freezer till frozen cold, place them in your lunchbox the next day, and they're going to keep your food cold as well, but they'll be thawed out and ready to enjoy by lunchtime. Also, don't forget the importance of hand hygiene. Wash your hands with warm soapy water every time before you handle or prepare fresh food to prevent the spread of germs. And I also recommend taking a clean, damp towel and wiping out the inside of your lunchbox after every use. If you're using your lunchbox pretty frequently, go ahead and wash it out with warm soapy water and let it air dry about once a week. Thanks for joining me today. I hope that you found some helpful tips to banish that brown bag boredom for you and your family. If you'd like more information, visit conehealth.com/healthy eating. I'm Kate Towery. Enjoy your lunch.
Piedmont Authority for Regional Transportation is making changes to its service model, which will allow riders to rely on new technology. We'll have that story and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. Commuting in the Triad is going high-tech. The Piedmont Authority for Regional Transportation, or PART, will be offering 2 new digital payment methods with TouchPass Mobile and Smart Card ticketing beginning August 5th. This technology will allow passengers to purchase passes online or through the app, pay fares with a scan or a tap, and ultimately speed up the boarding process. PART plans to transition all passengers to TouchPass by the end of September and will stop selling paper passes on August 5th. The TouchPass app and Smart Card are designed to shorten and simplify the boarding process by allowing passengers to simply tap their Smart Card or scan the QR code on the mobile app to board. Although PART buses will continue to accept cash as fare payment, the agency has already seen positive results from the system and is encouraging riders to try it. Riders who sign up for this program will get their first ride for free. To learn more about the TouchPass mobile and Smart Card ticketing system, visit PART's website. The North Carolina Folk Festival is pleased to announce Contour Brands Incorporated will sponsor the Lee Wrangler stage. This year's event will take place in downtown Greensboro from September 6th through September 8th. The Lee Wrangler stage will host a number of talented performers during the 3-day festival at 400 North Elm Street. At any time throughout the festival, thousands of attendees can come and enjoy these performers on the Lee Wrangler stage, which will operate both day and night. Food and beverage vendors will be located on the Contour Brands property located near the stage. Throughout the weekend, festival goers will have the opportunity to see artists such as Red Volkart and Phil Wiggins' Blues House Party on the Lee Wrangler stage. The full performance schedule will be available on the new NC Folk Fest app as well as the website in the coming weeks. The Downtown Greenway is seeking artists from across the country to submit a proposal for the Freedom Cornerstone. This will be the last of the 4 cornerstones to be built on the Downtown Greenway. The theme of freedom was inspired by the city's role in the civil rights movement, specifically the nonviolent protest of the pivotal 1960 Greensboro lunch counter sit-ins that served as a catalyst to the larger movement. Racial justice and equity have played an important role in shaping Greensboro and defining its identity. The selected artists will be asked to explore this history in depth as they conceive a vision for the artwork. The deadline for submissions is 5:00 p.m. on Wednesday, August 21st. For more information or to review the submission guidelines, visit the Downtown Greenway website. In an effort to spotlight and celebrate local artists, business owners, community builders, and essentially the next generation of leaders, the city is proud to partner with Action Greensboro to introduce our Made in Greensboro series. This day, we place the spotlight on Sean Gagney and his impact on the environment. Sean Gagney has helped plant more than 6,000 trees in Greensboro. He's the founder and CEO of Urban Offsets, which creates local carbon markets to build sustainable and resilient communities. Soon after moving here, Sean went through Launch, Greensboro Startup Accelerator. This gave him the resources and security to stay and grow urban offsets. Earning a master's degree in environmental science with a focus on climate science, Sean believes he can improve the environment by creating a better market for reducing greenhouse gases by planting community trees. Urban offsets help cities plant trees in areas in need. Then it connects carbon credits from other projects around the country to each tree in the community. Sean thinks of this as creating environmental mutual funds. He sells those carbon credits to colleges and universities looking to reduce greenhouse gas emissions while investing in their local communities. It's a win-win-win. To learn more about Made in Greensboro or to see more images taken by photographers Jerry Walford and Scott Mothersbaugh, visit the Action Greensboro website at madeingso.com. Greensboro residents are extending an invitation for the host of a popular national TV show to grace the Gate City with his presence. Coming up after the break, we'll tell you who the celebrity is and why we want him to visit Greensboro. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. Book lovers across the city are engaged in the annual event hosted by Greensboro Public Library, and it's not too late to join the fun. Joining me now to give us a preview of One City, One Book is Bridget Blanton. She is the director of Greensboro Public Library. Hello, Bridget. Welcome to the show.
Hi, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me. Tell me, what is One City, One Book? How did it come about, and who actually selects the book?
So One City, One Book actually started in 2002. We were celebrating the 100th year anniversary of the Greensboro Public Library system. So one of our assistant directors at the time said, what would happen if we do what some other cities do, which is the whole city read exactly the same book and have conversations, discussions, and programs around that. So that's how it started. We do it every other year, except for one year we went 3, so that's why we started in 2002, but the next one's in 2019. How's it selected? Well, we have a selection committee. So we actually have community recommendations of books that they think we should actually read. That team actually goes through probably 50 books.
Oh, wow.
Then they recommend, and this has only happened for the last 2 One City, One Books. They recommend like 5 or 6 top books. I have a steering committee that looks at those as well. And then we actually, for the last 2 One City, One Books, have put it out for public vote. So who selected this year's One City, One Book? The citizens of Greensboro.
Wonderful, and that gets buy-in. It ensures people are going to actually be part of that one city experience. Right. What a great idea. This year's book is written by Trevor Noah. He is a television host of The Daily Show.
Yes.
And you want him to come to Greensboro. What efforts are you putting out there to get him here?
First of all, hashtag Trevor to GPL, which is Trevor to Greensboro Public Library. But we also have a postcard campaign. So stop by any branch of the library and we have postcards available. You just actually write a note to Trevor saying, please come to Greensboro or whatever you want to say. And we actually will mail them for you. Our foundation is actually paying for postage to put those in the mail.
Wonderful. And social media is always a big draw.
Exactly. We are not only on our websites, we're tagging his Facebook page, his Twitter page. We're sharing it out any way we can because we want to get Trevor to Greensboro.
Yes, well, that would be a treat for sure. Now, community groups like to have their own book clubs. Is that a part of One City, One Book?
It is always part of One City, One Book. We buy book club sets that book clubs can actually call and reserve, and so they can take a collection of books, share that with their book club. We also provide facilitation, not just us like library staff, but we will actually train facilitators to actually have those conversations with their book clubs. So there'll be a point that we'll put a call out for folks. If you're interested in learning how to facilitate for this particular book, we actually provide that training.
Okay, that's good to know. All sorts of resources are always available through the library. One City, One Book, if folks haven't picked up their copy of Trevor Noah's book, the kickoff is August 24th.
Yes.
What kinds of activities go on that day?
Well, this particular year we're actually starting, and I know people may ask why, but we're actually having Asha Gray Davison, who is the author of Best of Enemies, and he is actually going to be there for a discussion. And people say, well, why are you doing another author of another book for this? One of the things that I think that Greensboro does that may be different from other One City, One Books is we take the book and we pull it apart. So race relations and education is part of that book. So there will be a discussion around that. He'll be speaking to that. It's also local, it's here in North Carolina. So that conversation begins. So if you haven't read the book, when you hear this conversation and read Born a Crime, hopefully it'll stimulate some other kind of thoughts. And so when you participate in book clubs, you actually have an opportunity to have some discussions at another level. So that's just one of the ways we do that. We bring all kinds of things. So librarians, when they look at a book, we don't necessarily see exactly what everyone else does.
Exactly. Yeah. So Best of Enemies talks about school integration in
Yes,
Durham.
correct.
Born a Crime is apartheid South Africa,
Right.
and just Trevor Noah's experience growing up as a mixed race child.
Exactly.
Great overlap. Now, the library has a host of programs. You have no shortage of things that go on there. We're getting ready to embrace fall, believe it or not. Summer seemed like it took forever to get here, but fall is around the corner. What else, other than One City, One Book, will folks look forward to?
We will actually continue to provide our regular programming, so there'll be other book club groups. We'll continue to have children's program, our story times, our STEM programs. We'll continue to have our environmental programs as well. And in addition to that, we will have our One City, One Book programs that are happening.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Bridget, for stopping by to tell us about One City, One Book. Best luck and wishes to get Trevor Noah to come to our community. I know the campaign is strong, and he's probably received more postcards than he know what to do with.
That's right. We've seen pictures of them on his desk.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, do come back. Keep us posted on all the great things that go on at Greensboro Public Library.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Stay tuned for a little-known fact about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. One way to stay informed about decisions that impact our city is by attending or tuning in to City Council meetings at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesday of the month. The Greensboro City Council meetings are open to the public, but if you cannot make it to City Hall, we broadcast the meetings right here on GTN. The meetings held in the council chambers are also streamed live on the city's website. Meetings on the first Tuesday of the month will take place in one of the city's 5 council districts to allow council members to engage more residents. Those meetings will be broadcast the following Saturday at 10 a.m. Meetings on the third Tuesday of the month will continue to take place on Level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building, located at 300 West Washington Street. The fourth Tuesday is reserved for a meeting as needed. To review the council meeting locations, schedule, and agendas, please visit the city's website. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. The city of Greensboro is accepting new and unwrapped school supplies in lieu of parking ticket fines issued during the month of August. Donations must be made within 30 days of the infraction, not including handicap parking violations. A receipt is required since the value of the school supplies must be equal to or greater than the fine. The city will donate the school supplies to the Guilford Education Alliance Teacher Supply Warehouse. The warehouse allows Guilford County school teachers to shop for items at no cost up to 4 times a year. Suggested school supply donations include glue sticks, crayons, pencils, erasers, spiral notebooks, dry erase markers, and loose leaf notebook paper. Other items students could use include 3-ring binders, antibacterial wipes, folders, flash drives, construction paper, and scissors. These school supplies must be dropped off at the parking ticket office located in the main entrance of the Melvin Municipal Office Building at 300 West Washington Street. Donations will not be accepted as payment at the Water Resources Operations Center. Coming up after the break, we'll showcase our department spotlight. But first, prepare to mark your calendar for all the great events happening this week on the town.
Hey, this is Jasmine. This weekend, power down your electronic devices and enjoy some old-fashioned fun. On Friday night, head over to the Caroline Theater to see a classic on the big screen. Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, starting at 7 p.m. A wealthy San Francisco socialite pursues a potential boyfriend in a small North California town that slowly takes a turn for the bizarre when birds of all kinds suddenly begin to attack people. For more information or to purchase your tickets, visit carolinetheater.com. This Saturday, the Greensboro Police Department, along with community partners, host Operation Pass Beyond the Backpack, an event where children in need can receive free backpacks and school supplies. This event is for all Guilford County school-age students and happening 9 to 11 a.m. at the Greensboro Coliseum Swarm Fieldhouse. For more information, email communityengagement@greensboro-nc.gov. Parents, are you concerned your children are getting too much screen time? Bring them to Central Library at 2 p.m. on Saturday for Lego Club. Here's an opportunity for your kids to construct to their heart's content with Legos, Lincoln Logs, and Fiddlesticks. This program for school-age children and teens gives them an opportunity to get creative. For more information on this and other library-sponsored events, go to greensborolibrary.org. This Sunday, the Windsor Community Center will hold a back-to-school community health fair from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The mission of this event is to provide free health services and information to underserved communities while giving back to our youth. The event is completely free to the public. For more information, register on eventbrite.com. End your technology-free weekend on a high note with music for a Sunday evening in the park or a Muse-Up concert series. This Sunday, the concert takes place at Lindley Park, located on Starmont Drive at West Market and Wendover Avenue. Enjoy the Greensboro Concert Band starting at 6:30 p.m. Go to greensboro-nc.gov/museup for a complete list of summer concert series performances. Keep watching FYI Weekly right here on GTN to find out about more events happening on the town.
Welcome back. The City of Greensboro has more than 20 departments and several divisions committed to serving you, our residents and visitors. Let's go behind the scenes in our department spotlight. The city's planning department has been awarded a $12,000 Federal Historic Preservation Fund grant. The money will be used to document and survey historic buildings designed and built by African Americans as a way to tell the story of Greensboro's architectural heritage. The city's project, which includes house-by-house photographic surveys, will involve Preservation Greensboro Incorporated and the community at large. The first phase will focus on structures in East Greensboro and Benbow Park designed by African American architects. Nationally, the preservation movement is recognizing the need to identify and preserve sites that are significant to historically underrepresented communities. Straight ahead on the other side of the break is this week's Way to Go GSO Shoutout. Stay with us. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO Shoutout. This week's shoutout goes to the Brown Recreation Center. The center set the backdrop for a free community enrichment festival on Saturday, August 3rd. The Parks and Recreation staff hosted a day of fun, great food, health awareness, and community resources with help from local nonprofits and small businesses. Food, clothing, and accessory vendors offered items for sale. Attendees who brought 2 items to donate for the Brown Recreation Center's school supply drive received a free ride on the trackless train. A good time was had by all. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can easily stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Alexa users can subscribe to our 5-minute flash briefings. Be sure to download our weekly podcast, Talk City Greensboro. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.